Hi, and this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com with another chat for you from my front garden here in Hua Hin, Thailand. Taking advantage of the good weather, and I'm aware that I'm from the UK and it's not so good there, but you might be watching this long after those storms are over, and probably when I'm back in the UK. Wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, whoever I'm with, I'm constantly aware of the potential of the mind, this supercomputer that we're blessed with, that very few of us master. Self-mastery is what I'm all about. And the way that you actually master this is through trance. The opportunity to program your mind in a clinical brainwave called alpha, which is how you learnt everything as a child. Children from the age of 0 to about 7 and 9, it's 7 in girls and 9 in boys. It used to be 9 and 11, but kids are becoming more mature, more adult-like, younger now. At about 7 years of age, a girl will snap out of hypnosis and start challenging you and asking questions. Now, you might disagree with me and tell me that your daughter or granddaughter is doing that at the age of 5, which is quite interesting. But ultimately, whatever age a child comes out of hypnosis, out of alpha, that, for most people, is when they stop being impressionable. And that's a lovely word, isn't it? Being impressionable. We know what impressions are. Impressions are perceptions, they're images. If you have an impressionist artist, they create striking visuals. Between 0 and 7 and 0 and 9, we are bombarded with new images, things we've never seen, and we learn so fast. Our learning, our brain, our mind is like a sponge for learning. But after that, learning slows down, and they pretty much say that if you have a child up to the age of 7, in that 7-year-old or 9-year-old, you pretty much can tell what sort of adult they're going to be, because most of the decisions have been made, most of the perceptions have been created, and most people don't develop much after that other than learning how to do what they're going to do for the rest of their life, because most education in traditional schools are educations to get you ready to go to work and pay your taxes. You know, from the day you leave school, very few people read a factual book. They read fiction, they watch Netflix and YouTube and the TV and the radio or whatever they do. But they very rarely pick up any information other than work-related information, which is generally forced upon them. But I would advise that you read far more, that you study. Again, I've learnt a lot of my stuff in my adult years, pretty much self-educated myself. And it's fascinating that you can accelerate that process and accelerate the process of changing the person that you were as a child, or maybe the experiences that you had in the next 7 years of your life. If you take a girl from the age of 7 and you go 14, 21, 28, these 7-year cyclical cycles, they are important if you understand Kundalini rising and spine line development of energy, but also physiologically and biochemically, and just the natural growth of a child into a teenager, adolescence, and maturing into a fully responsible, hopefully mature adult, which takes place around about sort of like anything between 14 and 21, 21 and 28 in my case. I was quite a slow developer. I don't think I matured until I started working in engineering. I was very protected as a child. I had a good childhood, but I certainly wasn't ready for the adult life. It came as a great shock to me when I worked on a shop floor, on a factory floor. I culture shock, an emotional shock, a mental assault. And it is like that for lots of people, and maybe even beyond those early 20s and 30s in your years. So what do you do about this, and why am I talking about this? It's because whatever you perceive yourself to be, and however you perceive the world and your experience, you can change it. You can go back into that childlike trance state, that hypnotic state that you were in, access this supercomputer and download some new files. You can delete anything that's unhelpful, you can update files, and you can install new files. And that's what I'm all about. I always say that I'm a software programmer for the brain, that I'm a mind mechanic. In the past I was a motor mechanic, but now I'm a mind mechanic. And that your emotions that are based on your thoughts and your feelings and your experiences and your perceptions are all plastic. I know from doing hypnosis with people, street hypnosis and entertainment hypnosis for charities, to raise money for charities, that I can create all sorts of wonderful effects. You implant a suggestion in somebody's mind and they will run with that suggestion. If you tell somebody that the hands are stuck to the head, then their hands become stuck to the head. They lock their mind around an idea that they can't lift something, or they can't stand up, or they can't speak, they've got marbles in the mouth, or I'm invisible, or they can't remember the name. And when they accept that suggestion, that becomes their reality. What suggestions in life have you accepted that limit you and stop you being the person that you want to be, having the things that you want to have and doing the things that you want to do? Because that can be changed. We can update those files with hypnosis, with trance. I can teach you how to do it, and I can also do it to you, for you. Now, whenever you're watching this, and I'll tell you now that it's February 2020, I'm coming back to the UK. I didn't start this to promote myself and my returning to the UK, but if you want to work with me one-to-one, then put your name in the comments box below, because I'm booking up now. But wherever I am in the world, and I don't know where I'm going to be next week, next month, next year, I work online. And it's very, very easy, very, very easy to change your mind when you understand the mechanism of the mind, because children do it all the time. So it doesn't take super intelligence, it just takes imagination. And if you've got a good imagination and you've got a flexible mind, it happens like that. And if you haven't got a flexible mind and a good imagination, then it takes about 21 days to develop it through a process that I call Genesis, where you reinvent yourself and you can become super creative, and then life becomes super fun, because that's what we're here to have, fun. We're not here to work, which is what the education system trains you for. Your whole life is sort of like, you're born, you go to school, you go to work, and then you die. Oh, no, that's not good enough for me, and it's not good enough for you. You want to have far more than that, be far more than that, and do far more than that. And the way that you'll do it, whatever your physical circumstances, whatever your financial circumstances, whatever your geographical circumstances, whatever circumstances, you live a thought life. You can change it in here, and then the whole of the stuff out here changes automatically. So I've said loads. I'll talk more to you when you contact me, and I hope you do, because I'm looking forward to sharing the power of your mind with you. I want you to experience how amazing you are, how amazing we are as human beings, because that's not what we're being told. In so many ways, we're not being told that we are supercomputers on legs, that we are unlimited beings in a carcass of flesh and bones, that we are far more than what you see when you look in the mirror. And if you're not happy with your life, and you're not happy with what you look at in the reflection when you look in the mirror, then contact me, because we can change that like that. Be powerful, enjoy your mind, God bless, and contact me if you want to know more, and I'm sure you do. And if you don't moan, don't complain, because here's your opportunity to be amazing.